showcase called Community and Family Traditions. We try to do a lot of music programming during Fiddler's Week that will help you learn more about the music of the area as well as entertain you. So we have a great panel here of people that will talk to you about some of these traditions. We have Clay Shelor at the end, Seth Boyd, Martha Spencer, Doug Rorrer, and Bobby Patterson.
My name is Doug Rorrer. I'm from Eden, born and raised in Eden, North Carolina. Used to be Leesville, Spray and Draper, consolidated into Eden.
I'm Taylor Rorrer. I'm Doug's son. I live in Madison, North Carolina, but born and raised in Eden.
And Taylor is a fourth generation musician in the, I guess you would say, the Charlie Poole, Posey Rorrer dynasty. Charlie Poole and Posey Rorrer both were my great uncles. My dad lived with Charlie Poole for a while, and when he was a teenager, my dad played fiddle, old-time fiddle some, and then passed that on down to me and my brother. My brother played banjo, and I played mostly the guitar. And then we played, I was fortunately able to play with some of the people that recorded with Charlie Poole and Posey Rorrer, namely Norman Woodleaf, who was the guitar player on the first couple of recordings for Charlie Poole, and also played with fiddler Lonnie Austin for quite a while when he moved back from West Virginia to Eden. And in fact, Taylor now being the fourth generation musician, he has one of the fiddles that belong to, not Posey, well, he does have a fiddle that belongs to Posey Rorrer, and he also, the one he was playing today, belonged to Lonnie Austin, who recorded, obviously with Charlie Poole.
I think growing up around this music has had a major influence on my life, and of course, I was also very fortunate to be able to be around Lonnie Austin when I was a small child. Was able to actually play some of Lonnie myself, and very fond memories of having Lonnie over at the house when I was a kid.
Yeah, we usually about every Saturday night we had Lonnie Austin and Buck and Alice Easley, and sometimes my brother, and a whole slew of musicians, and it was like, you know, the good old days. We would play for an hour or two, and then we'd stop and rest, and we'd eat and eat and eat, and then we'd go back in the living room, pick up the instruments and play for another, 3 hours in the morning, and those were really good times, Of course, unfortunately, Lonnie and Buck and Alice, both, all three are passed on, and Taylor was there for all of that and listened to the music, and I remember one time when he was just a little fella, had not started playing yet, and I got him up in my lap while we were playing a fiddle tune, and I played the chords with my left hand, and he played the rhythm with his right hand, and he was just perfect in rhythm, and I thought, he's going to be a guitar player. We would like to do another Posey Rorrer tune that Taylor, I think, really plays well. He's also you get confused. This is one that's they called Mountain Reel, which I think was a Scottish fiddle tune, or Miss McLeod's Reel, so they say she was anyway. And so he's going to be it's a doozy. He's going to be doing the Posey Rorrer style fiddling, and I'll do my best to pay homage, or homage, or homage, whichever how you pronounce that, to the great guitar player Gene Meade, who was from Draper, North Carolina, which is now part of Eden, and was a fixture. He and Clark Cashin were a fixture at Galax. I was kind of the Galax Fiddlers Convention back in the 60s, and left here Clark playing. Another gentleman, Willie Gregory, used to come and play a lot here, and used to play a lot with Willie Gregory. But this is Mountain Reel. Play through the guitar instead of through the mouth. that was played by Charlie LaPrade from Danville, Virginia, and we Charlie also recorded. I used to be a school teacher, so I can talk loud. But Charlie Poole recorded this one too. It's called "Going Down to Lynchburg Town," and we always called it, when we used to play with Lonnie and Buck Easley. It was a great fiddle player from Eden, North Carolina area. We called it the Lynchburg Deal.
Patterson. I came from a musical family, born into a musical family. My parents both played music. My dad played the clawhammer banjo, played the fiddle and the guitar. My mother, she could play a guitar, and she played the old pump organ that we had. And traditions has been down through the years that we had music at the house. We'd have jam sessions on Saturday night a lot of times, and my dad loved gospel singing. And there would be a lot of gospel singers come in on Saturday night and sing till 12 o'clock or later. And of course we had a lot of interaction with the neighbors, and everybody used to visit much more than they do now. You know, it's just a family tradition back then.
My dad used to give me pennies out of his pocket change, and I would save those pennies. If you would take those pennies with me this morning to the bank, so we would cash them in and get you a guitar. And so I was all for that. And we come to town, right down here on Main Street, had Porter Furniture Company, down there where Strain Dean's coffee shop is now. And the Merchants and Farmers Bank was right next door. So we took that jug of pennies in, and the bank counted for me, and I had about $33.50 worth of pennies. And we went out to Porter Furniture Company, and I picked me a guitar off the wall. It was a Stella for $29.95. And from then on, I started playing the guitar and learning. And so that's how I started playing the guitar. My dad showed me the first chords and started playing it from there. The first tune I learned to play on the banjo was Unclouded Day. And I went to a neighbor's house, and Kenneth Melton here that's running the sound, he was one of our best friends. Charles Hawks, the fellow I'm talking about, played the banjo, and I went to his house and he showed me how to play the first tune on the banjo. Kenneth has got his banjos.
Showed me my first one also.
He did. But he showed me a gospel tune called Unclouded Day. And I went home that night, and my dad was working in the furniture factory. He had to get up early in the morning to go to work. He also milked about 6 cows before we went to work. And when I went home that night, I got to playing the banjo. I played it till about 1 o'clock, so I learned how to do what Charles showed me to do. Daddy told me the next day, he said, "Boy," said, "I didn't know there was that much racket in the banjo." But this is the tune Charles showed me how to play. Being in the recording business for all these years I've been in it, back in 1986, I think, Mike Fenton and myself produced a double album that was highlighting the different musicians that come to the Galax Fiddlers Convention. We had 9 different countries represented on that double album set. And one of the fellows on there was a dear friend of ours from Hall. His name was Theo Listenberg. And 30 years ago this week, he sang this song at the Galax Fiddlers Convention and won 4th in the folk song contest. And I'm not sure the origin of it is probably a song that came from his country. But he passed away several years ago. I was listening to some of the old recordings and preparing the Galax Fiddlers Convention album or CD for this year. And I ran across this song and I thought I would just learn it and maybe sing it somewhere. So I've been singing it out at the Liberty Music Center. But it's a beautiful little song if I can get through it here. It's called Kitty and I. Tomorrow night I just can't wait. Me and Kitty's got a date. Kitty and I, Kitty and I, Kitty alone and I, promenading do-si-do, cheek to cheek and toe to toe. Kitty alone, Kitty alone, Kitty alone and I. Now you ought to see her clap her hands when they play that Sally Ann. Kitty alone, Kitty alone, Kitty alone and I. Place your money if you bet, never miss a single step. Kitty alone, Kitty alone, Kitty alone and I. all night till the break of day. Don't care what the old folks say. Kitty alone, kitty alone, kitty alone, and I'm promenading do-si-do, cheek to cheek and toe to toe. Kitty alone, kitty alone, kitty alone, and I. If she would only marry me, oh how happy we would be. Kitty alone, kitty alone, kitty alone, and I. Teach our kids to dance and play, driving all our cares away. Kitty alone, kitty alone, kitty alone, and I. Now tomorrow night I just can't wait. Me and Kitty's got a date. Kitty alone, kitty alone, kitty alone, and I promenading do-si-do, cheek to cheek and toe to toe. Kitty alone, kitty alone, kitty alone, and I.
Martha Spencer, and I'm from up around Blacktop, Mountain, Virginia. And I grew up in a musical family. My dad's an old-time fiddle player, Thornton Spencer. My mom, Emily Spencer, is a banjo player and a singer. And I just music was always a big part of life ever since I was, a little bit young. I started dancing when I was really in diapers. My parents would take me to a lot of, they played in the White Top Mountain Band. And so they would take me to a lot of festivals like the Galax Old Fiddlers Convention or a lot of dances. They played for a lot of different places, all throughout the Southeast, and so they'd always take me and my brother along. And I started off dancing, and then I picked up the guitar by learning how to back my dad up on, the fiddle, and him and my mom basically are two of my main influences on people that taught me stuff. My uncle Albert Hash, who originally started the White Top Mountain Band, he's married my dad's oldest sister, and he taught my dad a lot of what he knew, and he made fiddles and influenced a lot of folks with his fiddling, and his taught a lot of people how to make instruments. And his daughter Audrey Hasham, who also is a fiddle maker and dulcimer maker, and she sang a lot and was an influence to me as well with her a lot of singing and things like that. And like I said, I just kind of grew up around it and started playing and picked up a few different instruments along the way. And I play with the White Top Mountain Band now and a few other groups as well. This tune here is one, a fellow from Ashe County that Muncie got me, my mom and dad learned a lot from. He was kind of what you call a character, I guess. And this is one he said he learned when he was a boy. And he was, in his 80s when he showed it to my dad. So anyway, I'll give it a go. Let's see. Thanks for Rich for letting me borrow his keyboard.
My name is Seth Boyd, and I'm from Ferrum, Virginia. Really a little community near Ferrum called Endicott, which is kind of near the Floyd County line going up the mountain. And my family, the Boyd family, has a long musical tradition, especially in clawhammer banjo. My dad and both my uncles played, my grandfather played, and his uncle, Ted Boyd, was a well-known banjo player that a lot of the local musicians actually learned the clawhammer style from. And that's a clawhammer style and a fiddle style that's primarily like a dance style. It was developed for dancing. There's a lot of dances in that area, there still are. A lot of Ruritan buildings, a lot of places where they regularly hold dances that would be full of people. So that clawhammer banjo style developed to be really loud and fast to accommodate the amount of dancers that are on the floor to be heard over the bracket. There's just so many people dancing that kind of a hard driving old time style developed that's kind of unique to that area. And I used to go outside when I was a little kid. I'd be playing with, Ninja Turtles in the grass or whatever. And my uncle lived below us on the mountain, and he had a garage where they fixed cars, and they get sick of working, and they kind of just drink and sit out there and play the banjo. And I remember hearing it coming over the mountain, the way it sounded, just echoing across the mountains. And this is one of those kind of music. I mean, when you love it, you really love it. It just bites you. It just gets a hold of you. And it got a hold of me when I was really young. I'm thankful for that. I'm going to play a tune, one of the first tunes I learned to play in this style from my uncle. It's called the Old Mississippi Sawyer. It's an old familiar dance tune. Its roots going way back.
I'm Clay Shelor, and I grew up 2 counties east of here in Patrick County, Virginia. And I came from a musical family, the Shelors. My father and my uncles, my grandparents and my great-grandparents all played music. And so from my earliest memories with family gatherings, it was always centered around just visiting together and hanging out and playing tunes. And my grandparents, Jesse and Clara Shelor, and my great-uncle Per Shelor, my great-grandfather Joe Blackard, who was my grandmother's father, In 1927, they responded to an ad in the newspaper to inquiring about local musicians and asking them to come audition for to play in Bristol and to record for RCA in what's now called the Bristol Sessions. And my grandparents responded to that, and they loaded up their Model A and drove from Medizzadan, where the Shelors are from, to all the way out to Bristol, which was quite a haul. Granny said that they had to ride a ferry across the New River, and said that she remembered there being rotten planks and holes in the ferry, and then wondering if they were going to make it across. But they made the trek to Bristol and auditioned, and they played 4 songs on the Bristol Sessions. And but they played, and it inspired me, and it sort of got fiddle tunes and music and sort of the communal aspect of just family and friends just being together and in a sense really sharing part of themselves as they played music together. It's just a real source of joy that I've never gotten over. So I grew up learning the fiddle tunes from my grandmother, who played them on the piano. So I was also influenced by bluegrass fiddlers, and I was helped a lot as I was learning how by Buddy Pendleton, who lived in Patrick County and is also a cousin of ours. And so I was influenced by those other fiddle styles and by learning the Shelor tunes from the piano, Granny playing them for me on the piano. As I played today, one of the things I was excited about was getting to play my grandfather's fiddle. Granddad was born in 1894, I believe Dad said, and he came from a family with 14 children, and a bunch of them were musicians. And when Granddad was a kid, his older brother, Percy Shelor, fiddled, and he had a fiddle and was visiting. He was working in West Virginia in the coal mines, and he was visiting and tried to put his fiddle in a suitcase that was already full, and he had a little bit too much to drink and wasn't thinking straight, and he tried to force that suitcase closed and busted it and gave the pieces to Granddad. And Granddad took it to the local carpenter, who put it back together, and that's what he played until the 1960s.
He lost his ability to fiddle as he was getting old. It was not only the first song he learned, this is the last song he played as his abilities were failing him. So I'm going to play you Granddad's favorite tune. This is called Callahan. Next, one of the songs Granddad and Granny and my great-grandfather Joe Blacker did on the Bristol Sessions called The Big Bend Gal. And I want to invite my son. I'm, by the way, just thrilled to get to play old-time music with my son. He's smitten by it. And he's pushing me to learn new songs, new old songs all the time. So Dane and my dear new friends, Tom and Jenna and Rosencrantz, are going to come with us, and we're going to do one of their old songs called The Big Bend Gal. Sorry for the reorg here. So they sang this with Big Ben Gal, and Tom and Jenna asked me to play in the old time band contest with them here at Galax this year, and I said, well, what would you think about doing one of Granddad and Granny songs? It's Big Ben Gal, and I sent them a link from the Ferrum College website that had a field recording of them doing it, and also from the Bristol Sessions version. And we've been working ever since on trying to learn these words. They come out at about 100 miles an hour, and so I've had a printout in the car, and every time I'm at a red light, I sit there and try to learn these words. So we're going to try this. So one thing I just want to say about Granddad's fiddle playing, some old-time fiddlers here have asked me about the keys that he played in, and it's kind of confusing if you listen to the recordings. One of which Heritage did, the 8 Miles Apart, and that album is just a real treasure. And somebody was asking me about the keys, and they're hard to figure out because Granddad and Granny were never in standard. They were working with an old piano, and Granddad always tuned down one whole step. So if you listen to my fiddle here, my high string, instead of being E, is tuned down to D. So it's a low tuning, and they would, anyhow, if you're ever puzzled on any Shelor family keys, the fiddle is down one whole step. But we're going to try the Big Ben Gal here. And we've been pondering the words to this. Is it really about the Big Ben Gal, or is it about Liza Jane from the Prairie Plain, or Betsy Jane? So maybe the real title should maybe be, There's No Use Talking About the Big Ben Gal. You can help me puzzle these words and figure out who is this song really about.